Hi students, this is Mr. Douglas, and this is the second screencast, week 2, day 1 for Friday's class. I'm going to open GeoGebra, to which I set the defaults. I reset the default, so when it opens it's like this. And I had said before you should use the geometry perspective, which is in the right hand corner, the right side in the middle, but the way it opens is good, and as James pointed out, the algebra is good here. And then if you go on, because it shows the objects, and then if you hit the graphics, you can get rid of you can show or hide the axes or the grid. So we'll hide them for now. We're going to do 3 things today. One is how to make a slider for rotation, so just generally how to make a slider. Show how to use the compass tool, and do the first part of the simulating transformation tools file, because the rest of it will be assigned for homework. So, slider. The slider tool is the second one from the right up here, and you click on the graphics view to specify the position. So I select the slider, I'll make it in the upper left hand corner, and then it gives me these options. I want a slider for an angle. You can also do a number, and automatically names it alpha. If you want to name it a different letter, a different Greek letter, you can go to this this button here, and it gives you a selection if you click on it of different letters. Right now we're from 0 to 360 degrees in increments of 1, so it will be smooth. And you can change that. Of course, you could have minus 360 to 360 if you wanted, or anything else. We'll leave it here for now. So I'll just say OK, and you get a slider. Right now the slider doesn't do very much except change the value, and you can see that the value changes in the left-hand column here as well. Okay, we need a figure to rotate, and we need a point. So I'll pick the polygon, and we'll just make a triangle. And in the default, which I was not using because I had changed it, it gives you all the labels. I'm sure you can reset that if you want to, and we'll go into that later. This is just the beginning of this sort of thing. There's a lot of flexibility in this program. So there's ABC, and I need a point of rotation. I'll put it pretty close to the triangle, but you can move it, of course. So my point is D. I could change that, but we'll leave it as D. So we're going to rotate around D. Now we go to the, this is the transformation tool menu, and we're going to go to rotate around a point. And we need to pick an object, a center point, and then an angle. And so we'll pick the object, and notice that as I go over here it says poly 1 in the left hand also, and they're all selected now because they're dark. If you want to unselect something, one way to do it, I believe, is to, see if you click in there it hides it, and so you can hide or show objects that way. So I'm going to pick the triangle and the point, and then it gives me an angle of 45 degrees right now, counterclockwise, but I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to go here, open that, and select alpha, which is my slider angle. And then I'm going to say OK, and it rotates at 66 degrees. I'm going to change the color to our standard indigo for image, and the indigo color is the second one from the lower right here, along the diagonal. So that is the color indigo for the image, and we also have, I'm going to go to the move tool. You always have to go back to that if you want to move things around. We also have A prime, B prime, C prime, and the nice thing here is, of course, I can move the slider and make it rotate. And that's 0 degrees, anywhere up to a full turn, 360. And I could change that if I wanted to. And it's completely dynamic. If I move so right now it's 148-degree rotation. If I move the triangle, it moves that. Notice that it can overlap, of course. And also I can move the point. And that changes things as well. So that's the slider. The second thing was how to make the compass tool. So I'm not going to close it. I'm going to get smarter for a change and make a new window over here. And I will just cover the old window with that. And once again, get rid of the axes. And this time, we're going to mimic a standard geometric construction, which is making a triangle out of given 3 sides. I'm just going to make 3 sides of reasonable length. So there's side A, and here's side B. And of course, I couldn't make side C too big or too small, because the triangle inequality would have to be satisfied. The sum of 2 sides has to be greater than the third. But I'll make them roughly like this, so not too different from each other. So there are sides A, B, and C. Now, I'm going to take side A, and I didn't want to do that, of course. I didn't want to do that either. Okay, I'm going to start from scratch. Sorry about that. I forgot to go to the Move tool once again. So 3 sides. And I'm not going to go back and edit things because I just don't have time to do that at this point. So I'm going to go back to the Move tool. I'm going to move one side here. And now we're going to use the compass tool. And that's under the circle. And here's the compass tool. And it says select a segment or 2 points for the radius and then the center point. So I'll do one of each. So in this case, I'll do 2 points for side B. And there it is. And now as I move it, that radius is fixed. And then so that's just like a compass. And when I click on A, it sets it. And this time I'm going to just try the segment C. And that gives me the radius right there of that length of segment. And I go down here and click on B. And that gives me a point. I can set a point, or I can do point at intersection. I'm going to try point at intersection this time, which is here. So if I want that, then I select one circle, and then I select another circle, and it gives me that point. And now I can use the segment tool to make my triangle with those 3 sides. Of course, there'd be another one on the other side. And since I did point at intersection, I think, yeah, it made a point also down here that it called H. If I want to hide the other parts, I can right click or control click and do not show the object. And so I can hide that circle, and it also automatically hides the label, I believe. And yeah, so there's my triangle. And I could move it around. See how it, yeah. So there's my triangle. So that's how you use the compass tool. I am going to get up a document under Word, which is here. Now it's going to come up possibly on my other screen. Oh yeah, Word is open there. I'm going to drag it back to the screen in a minute. I'm going to open Simulating Transformation Tools, and I will show it to you. So Simulating Transformation Tools is a document that I'll post that looks like this, and we're going to do the reflection part in a minute. So we're going to construct the images of a scalene triangle under each of the main geometric transformations without using the transformation tools. That's the task. I'll do reflection, and you're going to do translation and rotation. And this will help you get a strong understanding and prepare to write a precise definition, well, I've sort of given that away, unfortunately, in a way. But it's still good to practice. So you don't have to worry about the part about writing a precise definition because I've entered that in the reference. But this part is useful. So we're going to be given a line B and scalene triangle ABC and construct the reflection. And the suggested tools are useful. I may not go through this because it's already been 11 minutes, but well, we'll see. I'll start. So the selected tools are perpendicular, suggested tools are perpendicular line and circle with center through point. So that's helpful. And one of these suggested tools later on is the compass, and that's why I went through that. Okay, so how do we reflect triangle ABC in line B? Okay, so I'll move that out of the way. I'll do this. I'll make a new window. Make it bigger. And once again, get rid of the axes. All right, so triangle. Select the polygon tool and make a triangle. And I'll do 1 point because the other points, are pretty obvious. All right, so I just make an arbitrary triangle, and then I want to make a line of reflection, which in this case is not called B, it's called D, but that's fine. And we want to reflect. So I'm just going to reflect point C, or point A is actually maybe easier to see. So what do I do? And I think we've already done this, so I'll just do it very quickly. So we want to make a perpendicular line, a point, and the line. Yeah, I know we did. So point and a line. So we make a perpendicular, and now we can use the compass tool with the center and radius. We need to get this point. That's going to be important because we want the same distance on the other side. So yeah, or excuse me, it's not the compass tool, a circle. Circle through center and point is probably the easiest way. So here's the center, here's the point. That gives us our image point over here. And we would want to relabel that, which we could, A prime. So let me just do that last thing. So I want to rename it. And I want to rename it A with a little prime there. And I say OK, and that should do it. Yeah. So that point is A prime. And you could do that, of course, with the other points and then connect them, and you would get your triangle. So that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. Okay, that's it for this screencast. Thank you very much.